We'll do that. Morning, guys. We're just gonna get Frame Master on there. Hey, Meredith. Good morning.
Hey, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am all right. Hanging in there.
Hanging in for sure.
I think we're all pretty much hanging in there.
I think, yeah, I think these are certainly challenging times. And thanks for being on the Instagram Live today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought we can get just our viewers to connect. And although, we have to social distance and we've been doing our best to do that, we thought at Roma here, it'd be a great opportunity to bring people together.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what we're all doing right now. Social distancing virtually.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what we got to do.
And it's funny in times like this, I think, out of necessity, comes something great. And, I hadn't ever FaceTime Live you. In fact, I've never FaceTimed you.
No.
Or Instagram Live you. And here we are. So, so for the viewers coming in, good morning, everyone. And thanks for being on this Instagram Live.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, so Meredith, you're pretty unique as a human, and you're doing some really cool things. And that's why we thought we'd spotlight you. And dependent on how this goes, this is our first one. So depending on how this goes, we thought maybe we can, have other great, framer designers in the industry, showing up and really helping others, really crowdsourcing, helping others maybe cope with these, difficult times or maybe shedding light and ideas on how you're doing things, slightly different to produce some different results. So that's why we're here. And as you know, we don't have any scripts or any questions. Nope. So this is really just a dialogue. And
this is freestyle.
Exactly. And I'd love, before we begin, I'd love maybe to give you the floor. Maybe you tell the viewers, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and we'll take it from there.
All right. So my name is Meredith, and I am Frame Master Mayor on Instagram, and my business is Frame Avenue Design. I have been framing since the tender age of 15 and have owned my own business for 20 years. So I had a retail store for 15 of those years and decided to make the shift and move to my home business so I could have a more flexible schedule with my kids and everything. So I am located in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is right on the DC border. So my clients are DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I am now a mobile business, so nobody really comes to me, which is kind of nice. I come to them. So in these weird times that we're all sort of getting adjusted to, one of the main things that I've been looking at framers' Facebook groups and sort of getting advice from anybody I can who's in the creative self-employed business as to how we could make an opportunity out of this situation. The first thing that I think is super important for all of us is to get social virtually. Right now, everybody is online. All of our clients are online. So right now it's really important to beef up our social media and take time to really beef up our website. Exposure is everything right now because everybody is online. And the great thing also is a lot of people are still getting paid. There's a lot of people teleworking. Yes, we're all shut down, but there's a lot of people teleworking right now that are still getting paid. So the opportunity for clients and sales is still out there. I have been reaching out to a lot of my artist friends, a lot of my self-employed friends, and we're sort of rallying together where we've got some plans to really do some social media groups like this, some social media videos about how important art is, and really taking, saying in these gloomy days, you need to find your happy. Art and framing is what's going to make you happy right now. Walking in your house, seeing something beautifully framed, or walking into a different room, which is maybe the current situation, and seeing something beautiful is really going to spark joy in your heart. So I think those are really important keys, is to stay social, stay online, stay active, get exposure as much as we can right now.
So Meredith,
Yeah.
I think that's great advice, and I was taking some notes as you're speaking. I want to just dive deeper if I can. What would you say to a retailer in our industry or someone in our industry when you say beef up your social? What does that look like?
All right. So one thing I do, I would say about 70 to 85% of my business I get from Instagram. Okay. So I follow a lot of social media content creators on Instagram, and I really sort of take notes as to what they are saying. I've taken a lot of Instagram classes and courses and workshops. Start looking at maybe other people in our situation, common businesses, and sort of not copy them, but see how they're getting social, see how they're working their Instagram posts. It's important to show face as much as we can, even though a lot of times we don't want to show face and look like a hot mess. There's filters for that. So you don't always have to show face. But start connecting with artists, start connecting with your clients, start following your clients on Instagram, commenting on their posts. When you see a cute picture of one of your clients and their family, just comment. It doesn't even need to have words, just emojis, like, reach out and start connecting with your clients to sort of draw them back in. Stories are important. Show us what you're doing day to day. Show us, I try to do a combo of like personal-ish and a lot of framing. So I do a lot of time lapses of me framing, or not really framing. You could do time lapses of you framing. I don't really have an Instagrammable studio space. So I do a lot of time lapses of me hanging or joining frames, just to show what you're all about and that you're legit, and really making a presence online. So reach out to your clients, look for social media content creators, follow them, get some advice from them, but really start reaching out and commenting. I mean, every one of my clients is on Instagram right now, so I'm really making an effort to reach out.
So how, and that's great advice. Some of the things we've been doing since the emergence of social, 10, 15 years ago, we've been trying to connect as much as we can with our customers, our partners, our friends, for a host of reasons. I think you can garner some great inspiration from potentially a designer out in the West Coast versus someone in the East Coast. And I think commenting on each other's work, rather than viewing them as a competition, is actually a smart move. I hear you talking a lot about some of the principles around social, how to engage properly with social. And my question is going to be, how much time do you think a business, the average business, not Meredith, but the average business should spend, or let me say invest, not only on Instagram, but wherever their eyeballs are? So it may be Instagram, maybe Facebook, it might be, TikTok, or even LinkedIn, which is a huge tool. How much time do you think someone should invest daily, weekly? What are your thoughts on that?
So this is a tough question. According to a lot of my social media content creators, engagement should be about 30 minutes a day. I usually do for my day-to-day, I don't have time to stop and post a story. So I basically pick up my kids from school and go lock myself in a room and engage for 30 minutes. So that means purge a lot of stories showing what I've done day-to-day. I don't necessarily post actual post every day. Sure. I try and do that about 3 times a day. If you I mean, I'm a super Instagrammer, so I all of my Instagram posts go to my Facebook. Again, Instagram is where I get a majority of my clients, so that's what I'm sticking with. You got to find your sweet spot.
Yeah.
Where are you gaining the most exposure? And for me, it is Instagram. So I try to post about 3 times a day. You can hire a social media content creator to give you like the best hashtags that will be best used for your business. You got to remember when you're engaged, like when you're creating posts and using hashtags,
yeah.
Us as businesses, we are not like, we all framers, we're all in a village and supporting each other in community, but I'm not looking to engage, like, how do I say this? I'm not looking to have another frame shop as my business. I'm looking to have a mom in my area or an artist in my area as my client. So really keep your hashtags more geared towards that. You can even Google best hashtags. Because a lot of times when you do like hashtag custom picture framing, hashtag custom picture framer, I mean, you do want to use those, but a lot of times you can gain client, followers that are other frame shops, which are fine, but really the point of this is to generate revenue. I love it. I'm in this unique situation where I've noticed, so I am in the DC area, so I use the hashtag DC. However, there is also DC Comics.
That's right.
So I gain a lot of comic people from using the hashtag DC. But that's just the way it is.
Sure. So would you, have you done any paid spend on Instagram?
No, I have not.
Organic?
It's all organic.
Cool.
I have had mixed reactions, mixed advice from other creatives in my industry, like artist creatives in my area that I work a lot with, and they don't really seem to think it's worth it. And honestly, as much as I know about social media and that kind of stuff, I don't really know what the proper way, because there's like, ranges of paid advertising that you can do, and I'm not really super familiar with it, so I'm just gonna stay away from it. And honestly, the stories, everybody's just flipping through stories, so that's really the best way to keep it live.
Cool. And who would you say primarily has been your target and has led to your success?
Honestly, So in 2017, I made a big commitment because I had just moved back to my home studio and did not have the walk-by traffic that I used to have. So I had to get out there. So what I did legit in 2017 was I made a pact with myself that I would engage with as many artists and creatives from around my area as I could. So I would either go to speaking engagements, art talks, I would even just DM them and see if they wanted to have coffee, just to brainstorm and powwow and pick their brains. I like talking to different people because if I can walk away from any sort of conversation or workshop or networking event with just getting one business card out there or making one connection or creating one relationship or learning one thing, that's all I need. So I started a while ago really getting involved in my art community. The art community in DC is really big right now, and making connections with people because they'll refer you. Like, if they don't have anything framed that they need framed, they'll refer me to a client. They'll refer me, it all sort of comes for full circle. So going out there, networking, that's really important. Even if we can't do it physically right now, shooting someone a DM, just connecting with one person. And, back in 2017, my goal was eventually I want to be a household name. I want people in this area, when they think about framing, for a frame master mayor to be the first one on their brains. Fast forward 3 years later, I'm hearing stories of my clients sitting at a dinner party and my name is coming up. And that's exactly what I wanted. So hustle hard, work hard at it, and eventually it turns back around.
I love, Meredith, I love what I'm hearing around the grind and the hustle and not necessarily paid spend.
No, no, we don't have to anymore. We don't, I mean, who does print advertising anymore? We don't do that anymore. This is the best free platform that we could ever have right now. Nobody does yellow pages. I mean, I don't Yelp, nothing. Instagram is where it's at.
So it seems as though you're pretty passionate about this.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it since I was 15. This is the only thing I know. This is the only, like that's the thing about what's happening now. I don't have a plan B, and a lot of frame shops and small business, self-employed, we don't have a plan B. So we got to come up with creative, new, and innovative ways. That's the great thing about being a creative. We, especially picture framers, we are natural-born problem solvers. So we got to try and figure out a new opportunity out of this sort of pandemic that's happening, and make lemonade out of sour lemons and figure out a way to make light out of this gloom. So that being said, I have a few sort of tips and points of what I've been doing with my clients.
Cool.
What I've been offering my clients is, so I usually go to my clients' houses, and that's not happening anymore. So I've got to figure out a way to generate revenue. What I have done is emailed all my clients, and I've also done a bunch of like Instagram stories and posts about it. I am offering my clients virtual consultation. All they need is their phone and a measuring tape, and I make it super easy for them. I even, disclaim to them, if they are afraid to put their face on FaceTime, I don't need to see their face. They can flip the camera. A lot of people are scared of video, so I don't need to see your face. I don't want to see your face. Just flip the camera towards the wall.
You just want walls.
I just need your wall space. That's all I need. So I do a lot of virtual.
Hashtag no face.
Hashtag no. I don't want to see your face.
Got it.
Love you. Don't need to see your face. So I've been really doing a lot of virtual consultations, which is fun. The other thing I sort of noted on somewhere was that this is a perfect opportunity because everybody's at home. All these parents, we're like, for us in the DC area, we're not on a total lockdown, but our kids are out of school. A lot of parents are teleworking, so we're all sitting at home. I am not bored because that's not in my vocabulary, but a lot of parents are very bored and they're staring at their blank walls. And this is a great time to get connected and take advantage of that. So I saw on another like framer Facebook something or other that also, this brings up a good point. A lot of people have artwork that's in storage in their basement or, laying around somewhere. This is a great time to take advantage of that situation and, get connected with them, have them thumb through some artwork that they have laying around and do virtual frame design consultation. Let's see if we can take grandma's whatever artwork that she had that you inherited that you don't like, but you don't like it because it's not framed well. So let's update it and upgrade it to a nicer frame so that you'll hang it in your home. So those are great things. And hold on, I'm going to show you. So this is sort of like one of, this is sort of what I've been doing with virtual design consultations. I have my clients take measurements of the space, and then I have them actually scroll through my Instagram feed and screenshot some layouts that they like. Because honestly, as much as I love framing one thing, revenue wise, it's nicer to frame lots of things. Quantity is key right now because, $100 here, $100 there, that's really not going to pay your bills. So what I'm really gearing for and aiming for is gallery walls, because that's what gives me money. And what's great about gallery walls, and especially family photo gallery walls, is you can email me all those photos. I don't have to go to your house. We can totally do this online, and then we'll wait for everything to calm down and I'll deliver and hang them for you. So when I do virtual consultations, I have them take dimensions of their walls and I create sort of a mock-up like this for my clients. and then what they do, and that's like, you know, it gives them the dimensions of the artwork, and I take care of the dimensions of the frame and everything, but I make it very simple for them. I design a sort of layout like that, and then all my client has to do is basically, and I write on here, 17 frames total. These are the vertical photos you need. These are the horizontals you need. So I make it very simple. So all the client has to do is go through all of their photos that they have from whatever saved and figure out, all right, I need 2 verticals. All right, I need 3 horizontals. And then all they have to do is email them to me. And it's super easy and simple.
Have you, beautiful, I love that, gallery wall and how easy you've made it. Have you had any, are people actually, potential clients, are they actually engaging more as a result of this?
I mean, yeah, I have a lot of DMs anytime. And honestly, it's every time I do a story.
Okay,
You
cool.
got to make it funny. You got to make it unique. You got to make it you. And, you know, I am truly me in all forms. I hide in my car and I shoot Instagram videos from my car because that's the only place I have privacy right now.
Love it.
But as long as you can make your people laugh and be genuine,
Exactly.
and, you know, give people a smile when everybody's like, that's truly engagement. And whenever I do stories, I get a ton of DMs, and it's very noticeable when I'm, you know, radio silent on the gram. I don't get anything. So really pushing everybody to start doing, you know, what am I working on in the studio? You can sort of take a look at like my stories later. I don't really have anything up right now because it's been a mess around here. But I do a lot of, you know, pictures of what I've been working on in the studio, where I take pictures of a frame sample up against the artwork, and I'll post that to sort of keep people reminding, I'm a framer, I'm a framer, I'm framing, I'm still working, I'm still working.
Yeah, so Meredith, I want to just add to that point, because that's really important, because I think today, you know, through advertising, we're getting bombarded on multiple platforms. You know, before it was you open the TV and you would get bombarded, but today your phone, whether you're through Instagram or Facebook or whatever social environments, you're getting bombarded with, whether it's food advertising or whatever the case may be. I think the key point there is to stay connected, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Stay relevant.
Yeah.
Because I think people certainly want to know that you're relevant, because you
Right.
can be open but not relevant. And I applaud you for, you know, taking the steps you've taken, because, you know, you've jumped on my radar. I'm pretty active on social media as much as I can. I mean, I got a 4-year-old and a 3-month-old, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit busy now, but I try to stay as connected as possible, and hence why we wanted to do this. But I think staying connected is heightened during this time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think customers, number one, will appreciate that. They'll remember you. You'll be memorable. And then when this turns around, because this is not an apocalypse, we'll get over this.
Right.
You'll know you'll remain top of mind. One thing I want to add to that is, you know, some framers, for some reason or another, are somewhat, let's say, a bit more shy on social media. But, you know, I've mentioned this time and time again, not probably on this platform, but on others, that there's also something really powerful called the telephone. And,
right.
And, you know, myself, I mean, I get hundreds of emails, as I'm sure you do, but there's something special today about getting a call from a customer or a friend. And, you know, one of the things we're trying to do is do outbound calls to see how they're doing, how we can support them. Potentially we can't do anything, but getting a call on the other end just shows that you genuinely, as you stated, care. And if we could be of service, you know, be of service. So I think some advice to framers is also, you know, call your customers just to see how they're doing, if they're holding out okay, if they're safe.
I did that yesterday. I made a bunch of phone calls because I have a lot of stuff framed that I'm ready to go, but it's not going anywhere. And one thing I do want to add to that as well is, this is a really great piece of advice. So our greatest assets are the clients that we already have. Word of mouth is so important because, yes, I get a lot of business from Instagram, but it is my current clients that tell their neighbors and that tell their friends. So what I did yesterday is I called a bunch of my clients and was like, how are you doing? How are we hanging in there? And then also texting them. Hey, just wanted to check in. How are you guys doing? Because I know a lot of my clients have families too, just like us. We've all got kids. So just checking in with them. How are you doing? Are you keeping your sanity? You know, that kind of thing. Just checking in. Just a regular checking in.
And how did it go, Meredith?
It went great. A lot of people need me to come pick up artwork.
That's great.
So, I mean, just those 3, 4, or 5 phone calls that I made yesterday, they're like, oh, yeah. Actually, I need some artwork picked up.
And you know what? As you're stating that, how are you trying to mitigate, obviously, attracting the virus since you're picking up artwork? Are you taking any steps around that?
Yes.
I hope so.
Yes. So, so my business is sort of an umbrella of services because I'm mobile and I'm in my house. I don't want anybody coming. So I do picture framing, I do picture hanging, and I design gallery walls. So I've had to postpone and I can make decent money hanging pictures. So I've had to postpone all of my hanging appointments and in-home services for now. I don't know when we'll get to them, but I mean, my clients have not been mad. Everybody is very much aware and, needing and knowing how important social distancing is right now. But what I am doing is doing doorstep deliveries and pickups. So I have a box of, I have a friend who works at a hardware store. Cool. So I get the hookup.
Do you have a friend?
So I have a box of rubber gloves.
Good.
I wrap everything. I'm probably actually going to put it in a fancy trash bag and deliver it to their door. And I've made it very aware. I don't want to see you. I don't want you to see me. I don't want any contact. So I have gloves. I drop it off at their doorstep. I text them when I'm on my way. They leave their artwork on their doorstep for me to pick up. So it's a nice sort of transaction.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. We've been talking, for quite some time, and I've also talked to other entrepreneurs. And the question that's always posed is, how will the world be post, COVID-19? Because, I'm of the opinion that this is in some way, shape, or form going to change the world. I'd like to believe it's going to change it for the better. But what do you foresee? We're all done. Everybody's cured. Hopefully, no one else dies, and we're back in restaurants and things that. What do you see the world? How do you see the world?
So much hugging.
I
am a huge hugger, and this has been so hard for me. Like 2 weeks ago when it was just sort of starting to come out, I was like, air hug. Oh. So I think everybody's going to be just hugging and so happy. For me, I mean, obviously we're all going to get back to work. So I think that's number one. Great. For people who are teleworking, and sorry, my daughter's creeping down. For people, I love you too. For people who are teleworking, who have office jobs, I don't know, my dad and I were talking. I don't know what their situation is, because once they realize that they can get so much work done at home, that's a whole another thing, which is great, because then they'll be home, so we can go to their houses and get all their artwork and even more business for us. So
I love the way you think. Yeah. The reason I pose this is, so local grocer here, he's a pretty substantial grocery chain. Prior, we would do the conventional. We'd pull up to the grocery store, go in, grab our things, say hello to a bunch of people, and then head up into our car. Well, just prior to this whole outbreak, I would say in January, they started doing curbside, where you can order online, and then just I don't know if you folks have that. You go in a lane, you wait there. I'm lane 1. I've already paid, and they put it in my car, which is kind of cool. But now our grocer is actually delivering direct to home for zero cost. There might be a cost later, but this is a pretty quick, I would say, advancement. And this is the type of thing I'm looking at very carefully, specifically with our industry, how it will change, because they say, I don't know the exact quote, but something along the lines of necessity is the best or the mother of invention, or something along that line.
Right.
So you know.
All right. So this is, I mean, we have curbside service and all of that, but I'm a very busy person.
Yeah.
I've got no time for anything. So back in 2019, my New Year's resolution was to order my groceries. So that being said, we've got DoorDash, we've got Uber Eats, where, I mean, no offense, where we're coming into this time and age of almost kind of laziness.
Yeah.
But everything is ordered, and that's where my business.
Hey, Joe, I'm just on here. Yeah, sorry, no problem. Sorry, he's like talking over me.
I know.
Sorry.
That's where sort of where my business is thriving, because I come to you. We're in this day and age, like, you order your groceries. Why would you, you know, I can come to you. Exactly. In terms of actually having a retail store, if I were in that position again, I would literally throw a party when this is all over.
It's great.
Come.
Great
I'm wine, cheese. We'll get a keg. Let's throw a party, and we'll hug, and we'll stand really close to each other and just enjoy each other's faces.
Or we'll hug the whole time.
We'll hug. We'll just hug. Big hugs.
Yeah. I love these ideas, and I hope, you know, for the folks online, they're hearing this and getting some inspiration around it. Because I truly believe that in my life, this is something about me. I believe everything happens for a reason, and I always think we're guided and protected. And like the things that have come before us, we wouldn't be here today as a society had those things not taken place. Now, a lot of them may not have been great, but today, as a result of it, I think we're a better off civilization. Having said that, I think things like framers looking at their retail store differently post this is something that intrigues me. And perhaps, you know, as you stated, the door-to-door service, I think, will become mainstream, where today it's, you know, a new thing. And to some degree, I think we're coming full circle. I don't know about you, but here, you know, they used to have milk delivered. I mean, obviously, I'm 42, so I never seen milk delivered to my door.
Right.
But my grandparents did, and
Exactly.
I remember, you know, they had pop delivered to their door, beer. So there's something to be said about maybe that whole full circle. I don't know, but I think it's going to be very interesting post this. I think we'll, like always, we'll get creative. You said something. I think you said something that really resonates with me. What I'm taking home is, you know, there's no plan B. You burned the boats a long time ago, and I live by that mantra. And I think today, you know, are certainly challenging times, and we have to be very fearful. First off, for everyone's health and safety. That's number one. Right. But once we got that, you know, what else could we be doing? And I think, you know, throughout this, I don't know, 40 minutes or so, you've covered some really great, tactful, non-expensive things people can do. That's right.
All right, 3 points.
Yeah.
Get social.
Give it to me.
Exposure is everything. Okay.
And third?
Virtual consultations. Tell your clients all you need is a phone and a measuring tape. Number 3, take advantage of, because people have blank walls right now and they're staring at them. Take advantage, you know, tell your clients, reach out to your clients and say, hey, you got some stuff in the you know, I know you have stuff in the basement in that room. Let's start going through them. And again, tell them you don't have to see their face, because a lot of people are scared of that.
Yeah, and make sure first and foremost is the safety component, that they feel safe to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's perfect.
You know, and if you know, I try and do my hair a lot when I'm on video, because, you know, craziness happens. So you kind of want to look as decent as possible, but there is no shame in the hot mess game. We are all in this situation together. I am, from the bottom half, still wearing my pajamas. So that is where we're at right now. No one cares what you look like.
I love it.
But
I
really,
love it.
get social, connect with your past clients because they are your biggest asset right now. We need framing jobs to stay in business. I know us business owners, we have, numbers that we need to be at to pay my mortgage. I mean, I just bought $400 worth of groceries and my kids already ate half of them. So I don't know what I'm going to do. We have bills to pay too, and we have no plan B. I have a little savings, but, we're all going to make through this together. Develop a community with your clients. Start reaching out to artists and other creatives and, innovators and artists and anybody who could use framing services, not immediately, but maybe in the future. Start messaging them. Just get in touch with people, stay in touch. I've been FaceTiming all my friends. We just started doing Zoom talks. I mean, there's so many ways that you can be social virtually now. So just hang in there, guys. We got this. Let's just get creative.
Lovely. Well, Meredith, listen, thank you for your time today. Thank you for the partnership with Roma Molding.
I love you guys so much. You guys, literally, when I get a box of new molding, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, ooh. So I love you guys so much, and I love your support, and I hope you guys stay safe and well, and remember rubber gloves, and stay connected.
All right. Well, listen, there you have it, Instagram Livers. I hope that you enjoyed this session with Meredith. Meredith, I can't thank you enough.
No, thank you. And if you guys
do virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs. There you go.
Yes. And if you guys have any questions or, need any sort of bits of advice or anything that I can share, feel free to DM me. I'm not going anywhere. So here I am.
There you go. Meredith, thanks so much. You've been a gem. We'll save this for a later viewing. But anything you need from us, we're here for you as well. Keep safe and keep awesome.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks.
Later.
Bye.